What's up, guys? It's Brian from Hashware Hub. It's about 1:50 p.m. Eastern Time, January 18th, 2018. And we're coming to you with a brand new trading video. This is Ripple, IOTA, and Cardano is exactly what we're going to go over. Maybe not even in that order, but we'll be going through those three. But first, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, re-steam, upvote would be greatly appreciated. So let's get right into it right here. Actually, but first, my apologies. I know the sound here is not all that good at all when we make the videos from this location. So bear with us another few more days and that sound quality will be much better, similar to some of the other videos that we make when we're at our other location. So until that sound equipment comes, unfortunately you're going to hear some extraneous noises in the background because it's a noisy place. Anyway, let's get into it. So Ripple. This is what we're looking at Ripple right now. It looks like there's this large bullish flag coming down, and we marked out A, B, C, D, E, and it looks like from the E point it's moving up, and it's gone ahead and it's crossed this upper line pretty decisively. It's coming back down now to test it, but it'll be interesting to see what it actually does. And maybe let's take a look at this on an hour basis. Yeah, see it's coming down. Yeah, it's coming down, it's testing this, it's coming back up, etc., etc. So the market is definitely knowledgeable of this resistance line. And now, as normally happens, resistance becomes support. So we'll see if this falls off further, but it's something you obviously have to keep in mind. So unlike some of the other cryptos, especially like Bitcoin, which is pretty much the crypto that pushes all the other cryptos around, this one, Ripple, tended to have a bullish flag, whereas others had more of a traditional type of ABC correction. So we could also label this as an ABC correction, but that's not what I actually think it is specifically on Ripple. Possibility it could be, but I like the bullish flag better than the ABC correction. But within the ABC correction, obviously, as I mentioned, we have the ABCDE, and then normally from E it then springs off from there, and it looks like it's adhering to that pretty significantly. So what are we thinking that's going to happen with Ripple? I mean, obviously we go ahead, we try to take a bigger picture all the time and zoom out and kind of see where are we within this overall roadmap. And if we just use basic Elliot wave analysis in combination with some Fibonacci levels, this is what we get. What we get is possibly the next huge run up could possibly be something that brings us to the $12 and change, $12.50. And then from there there'll be a correction, and then from there there'll be a much higher run, possibly somewhere around $15. And that's what we look at, and we measure all this based on this particular run up right here and this right here, this correction. And that's how we created all of this right here. So it's a very good roadmap to understand where we may need to, where we may get to, and we then need to go ahead and fill in the holes as each day goes on and see how we're getting there. What exact road are we taking to get there? So if you know anything about Elliott wave theory, that this wave right here, this motive wave, is going to be consisting of 5 waves up. So you'll have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we'll have to go ahead and start counting those and see what we get. So this is what's going on with Ripple. Let's take a look at the next one. The next one is IOTA. So IOTA is a different animal, completely different animal. And it's interesting to see that we're starting to get some variation between different cryptocurrencies. The variation is very small, but still there is some variation, and that's exactly what we have here. What I would have liked to have seen is an ABC correction, and I believe that's what we had, but it didn't actually fully form. So we have A, B, and the way it should work is that C should be somewhere around here. C has to be lower than A in this type of extended flat ABC correction. We didn't get that, so I think IOTA is some sort of hybrid, the way it's trading, between Ripple and like a Bitcoin. So again, you have to analyze enough charts to start realizing this, and then saying, okay, fine, where does this whole thing fit in? You know, I know it looks like a hornet's nest of support and resistance lines. I left some of them up because we had various different triangle formations, and that's what kind of led me to believe that this thing may be trading a little bit different than everything else, and maybe more of a hybrid. And then that's exactly kind of what played out here. So we had this larger triangle, this larger green triangle that played out, and the market then kind of fell through that. But you know, the upper line of this triangle also tends to be kind of like a line of what would be kind of like a bearish flag. But I don't see that just yet. So because this would be A, this would be B, this would be C, and they would be waiting for D and E. I don't think that's going to happen with IOTA. I don't think IOTA is going to diverge that drastically from the rest of the coins and create and finish its bullish flag while the rest of the market is on its merry way. I don't think that's going to be the case. So, you know, we have yeah, I mean, this is what we have right now. There's really not much else to say about it. There could be possibly a few other patterns in here, but I'm not gonna waste everybody's time and start talking about them. But you know, what could potentially happen? You know, everybody's always thinking, well, asking us, what pricing do you think this thing could get to? And so we do analysis, right? So the analysis is something like this. You know, we think that the first leg up could bring us somewhere to around this $16 level, and then eventually we could get to like a $19 level after obviously a sell-off. But what we're going to have to start seeing is some real higher highs. We're going to have to break through this upper green line decisively. Okay, you know, overall we are still thinking that possibly the market may turn over and then hit this bottom C level. I mean, I'll pull up Bitcoin real quick. You know, it actually never made it down to here where it really should have, and that's similar to what's been going on with everything else. So it's not to say that the market still won't turn around and try to go ahead and hit the C level, or if it doesn't do that, it then may go ahead and start creating some other formation, smaller formation, in order to extend that correction out further. So let's take a look at the next one. The next one is going to be Cardano. And okay, excuse me, Cardano had more of a traditional kind of ABC correction. You see right here, A, B, C. I drew this blue trend line right here connecting because it just seems to make sense. So I think this is going to be a critical area of where the market needs to go ahead and decisively break through. Okay. We also had a bullish flag right here. If you look at these two green lines, we had a bullish flag, and then the market decisively ran up out of here. Okay. However, it was premature. It was too premature. The rest of the market was still correcting, and obviously, you know, Cardano is not going to go ahead and chart its own course. It's not like Bitcoin. It's not the big behemoth, right? It's a smaller, you know, it's a tide. Really, when it comes down to it, it's an estuary that receives its tide from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the moon that's pushing the tides around. So it's not going to go ahead and run off on its own too drastically. So what happened was it then went ahead and corrected. And it corrected to this blue line. Obviously, we didn't know this blue line was even occurring just yet because we only had one data point. But once it was, you know, it was here, we then kind of drew it, and then we saw the market came up again. And then the market came down and made this C. Okay? So, like I said, market's got to run up. It's got to decisively break over this resistance line now. And let's take a look at projections. We're only projecting right now this first leg because why? Because one of the reasons is I wanted to get the video out to you guys as quickly as possible. Second reason is we need to go ahead and start defining a bit more what exactly happened around here, and to decide more decisively know how this leg is going to react. So we won't know that until we get more data. In other words, more days pass by, more hours pass by, and then we'll be able to refine this a bit more. So with that, we're going to leave you there. Let us know if you have any questions. Your upvote, Resteam would be greatly appreciated. Follow and also the notification bell will also be greatly appreciated. And that's about it. Happy trading and speak to you guys soon.